evaluate?
Right. Well, as you know, my name is Gwyneth, and hundreds of years ago, I used to be a teacher, but I escaped from school. So, but I do now enjoy working with young people, and particularly helping them, encouraging them to become confident speakers. And I found myself that even though I was a teacher and was used to standing up and speaking to 500 people or even more on occasions, to stand in front of my own peers was much more nerve-wracking. And I find that teachers all feel like that, whereas they're quite confident to stand in front of their classroom and talk to their classes. They're not confident if they have to speak, say, to a group of teachers. And I think that the way we work with our speaking groups, it helps you to be confident to speak in front of anybody. It wouldn't matter. I mean, Mary spoke about the eulogy, and people are quite surprised when I tell them that I actually did the eulogy at my husband's funeral. And people thought, oh, she'll never be able to do this. But I did, and put all the other things behind me. So we hope we'll give you the confidence to speak in front of anybody. We don't care who they are. And we'd like you to talk about yourselves. Now, first of all, I'd like you to remember these little rules. When you are speaking to an audience, the thing they notice, first of all, is what you look like. It's not necessarily what you're wearing, although sometimes that might have an effect, but on the whole, it's, do you look confident? Does your face look happy? Or do you look as though you wish you weren't there? It's difficult on Zoom to use your hands, but if you can manage to use your hands to demonstrate what you're saying, that does help as well. And your facial movements, do they match the words that you're saying? And the second thing that they notice is your voice. Is it loud enough? Is it clear enough? Does it change in tone? Or is it all monotonous all the time, so it just sounds like that? And also, do you use good words that describe what you're saying? So we just do those three things, the what you look like and what you sound like. And the third thing, of course, is what you're talking about. But it doesn't matter what you're talking about. If you don't get the other bits right, they won't listen at all. They'll switch off. So I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit about, you already have talked a little bit about yourself, but I'd like to centre it. Think of, do you want to talk about your family? Do you want to talk about your own self and your own development? Do you want to talk about your interests, what you like? And we've got a lot of basketball players, I noticed. We could have a team. So it's, your family or your interests or just about yourself in general. And I'm going to let you decide who goes, because to choose somebody to be the first is sometimes a little bit daunting, and some people don't mind. They'd rather be the first. So is there anyone who'd like to be, are we going to time this, Mary?
No, I don't think so.
No. Just if you could manage 1 minute, we'll be happy. If you can manage 2 minutes, we'll be absolutely ecstatic. And if you could go on any longer than that, we might have to stop you. So just, I'd like to see who would like to go first. Who thinks I'd like to go first and get it over with? Mahum, is your hands up? You want to go first? And who'd like to go second? And then after I've had 3 people, I'll choose the next one. So who'd like to go second? Have we got any hands? All right, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll start with Mahum, and then while they're speaking, if anybody thinks, yeah, I'd like to have a go at this, put your hand up and I'll put you down for the next one. I'll let you see how it goes. Right, would you like to begin? Now, normally, before you start, normally at the beginning of a speech, we have what we call a salutation. Sometimes it's ladies and gentlemen. These days, it's with us, it's chair and speakers. I think today, can you decide how you would like to address everybody here? Has anybody got a good suggestion for how you should start your speech so that everybody knows you're speaking to them? What do you suggest, Mary?
I think chair.
Oh, sorry, wait a minute.
Omer.
Omer's got an idea. What would you want to say?
Yeah.
Greet. Say hello in 3 different languages so that any like people from other cultures will know you're talking to them as well. Like say hello in multiple languages.
Well, that might take a minute to do. You wouldn't have any time. I think we'll stick with English for the moment, but that would be a good idea to do on one occasion. That would be, right. I would enjoy that.
You could
May I suggest
bonjour and hello.
Sorry.
You could say hola, bonjour and hello.
You could. Yeah, if you're happy with that. You're all happy with that?
Hola, hola, bonjour, and hello. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good idea.
Do that this week.
Better write it down, then I'll remember what you're saying. Right, so Mahom, right, you can start. You can kick us off with that salutation, and we will, and I'll time you. But we'll, or unless Mary could time you. Have you got a timing?
I'll time on my phone. A minute.
A minute. Well, if they go on over a minute, it doesn't matter. But I think 2 minutes, we should perhaps say wind up.
I'll ring a bell when 2 minutes. 2 minutes is up.
Yes. What we do normally in our speakers clubs, we have coloured lights. So after we have after you've been speaking for say 3 minutes, there would be a green light, and then an amber light a minute later, and then a red one. So, but we're not bothering with those lights. Sorry, Mary.
No, I've got the stopwatch on, so if Mahom wants to start, I'll press to go.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to do the what you look like bit because we can't see him. But we can hear. So we're going to be concentrating more on what he says and how he says it. Okay, I'd like you all to think about this because we want to do feedback for everybody afterwards. Okay.
Hello, bonjour, and hello. My name is Mahom. I'm in year 8 and I'm 13. And just speaking myself, I felt butterflies in my stomach and my hands were getting sweaty. And I usually am fine speaking in public, but for some reason today I felt a bit scared. And when I speak, I feel passionate, especially when I'm debating. I want to let it all out and want to prove my point in debating. Debating is a big hobby of mine, and I just love debating. I have 2 sisters, and I do a lot of clubs in school, and I have 2 best friends. I just feel confident when I speak usually, and coming to the speaker club will make me feel better. I won't have butterflies at the end of this. My hands won't be sweaty, and I won't be scared to talk. And hopefully after this, I can feel good about speaking and be confident.
Very good, thank you. How long was that, Mary?
1 minute and 7 seconds.
Right, so you beat the 1 minute barrier.
That's great.
Right, now who's going to be second now? Somebody's been inspired to be second. Nobody?
Ahmed had his hands up.
You're second, Ahmed, and Omer is going to be third.
I got a question about what's this speech about? I couldn't hear properly.
It's about yourself. It's about anything you want to talk about, a family, sport, being at school, something you want to tell us that we don't know. Anything. you know.
It doesn't really matter. If there's something that really interests you and you'd like to talk about it, just talk about it. This is called an icebreaker. This is just to get you, I was going to say up on your feet, but obviously you're not up on your feet, but you're going to speak. All right, Ahmed, are you going to be next?
Yeah.
Right. Good. You start
Hola.
when you're ready.
Okay. Hola, bonjour, and hello. My name is Ahmed. I'm in year 8 and I'm 12 years old. One fun fact about me is that I was born on the 28th of August 2008. So in my year, I am typically always the youngest. Another one is that Omar is actually my cousin and Ayan is a classmate of mine from school. I love to play sports and I love to play video games because I love to enjoy playing with my friends, trying to capture an end goal. I love like working for a goal, and that's one thing I want to come out from these speakers clubs. I have a passion for speaking and I love to do debating outside of school and inside of school. I would try to maybe have a debate with my parents, for example, over any tiny little matter, and I want to be able to speak about things I truly am passionate, as when I have to do speeches in school, I always feel restricted and confined. I also hope that I won't have butterflies in my stomach and my hands won't be shaking as I walk up on the podium.
Very good. Thank you for that. We have a saying in speakers, it doesn't stop the butterflies, but it helps them to fly in formation. So that's our little mantra that we have.
And Ahmed spoke for 1 minute 9 seconds.
1 minute 9. Oh, you beat him by 2 seconds. Beat him by 2 seconds. Right. Who's the third one? That was you, wasn't it, Omar? Who's going to be next after Omar?
Aman.
Right.
Omar. Right.
Okay.
When you're ready,
Off you
Omar.
go.
Hola, bonjour, and hello. My name is Omar, and I am cousins with Ahmed. When I went into Speakers Club, my main goal was that I could talk in front of classrooms when I'm presenting my homework, and usually I don't feel very confident about myself, and when the teacher asks, is anyone good at art? Most of the kids will tell me to put my hand up, but I'm kind of just shaky. But when I want to get out of Speakers Club, I want to be able to tell myself and convince myself I'm good at some things, and if there's something I'm bad at, I can always just convince myself that I can get better. And after Speakers Club, hopefully I'll be able to talk like a young leader to a lot of people.
Thank you very much for that. What was that time?
That was 1 minute 13.
Oh, we're going up every time.
Excellent.
1 minute 13. And now it's Aman.
So my name's Aman, I'm in year 10, and I've come here obviously to mainly increase my confidence when speaking, because just before my nervousness rapidly increases, and I also want to make my speeches more interesting and enjoyable to listen to, because we did a speech at the start of year 10 as part of an assessment. I got a good score, but some people thought it could be more entertaining, and that's why I want to increase my impactfulness and effectiveness in how I get my points across to the audience. I would say that my confidence has increased in speaking since year 8, for example, when we did some debating, and I find it more interesting now, but it's still not at the level I'd like it to be.
Thank you.
Very good. 55 seconds.
Right. It's bringing us down to earth. And who's going to go next? Fiza, what about you? Hania, what about you?
I think Hanya's been writing a lot, so I think she's ready.
Can I just tell you, while somebody's thinking, let me tell you a very short story. My daughter and her family live in New Zealand. And when my grandson was about 6, he had to do a speech at school. And when I was there, he asked me to help him with the speech. And I said, what are you going to write? What are you going to talk about? He said, I'm going to talk about my cat, Hage, my cat. So I said, what are you going to say? He said, I'm going to say, I have a cat. She is called Socks. And I haven't written anymore. So I gave him a few pointers. And I suggested that he started, I always wanted a pet. And I asked my mum, could I have a lion? And the story went on until eventually he decided a lion wasn't so good and a giraffe wasn't so good, but he would have a cat. And when he did do the speech, his mum didn't know I'd helped him. And she said, oh, it was wonderful. And he started, I'd always wanted a pet. I wonder what made him think of that. So you can always turn just an ordinary start of a speech into something much more interesting. You've all started well at the moment, every one of you. So just have that at the back of your head if you haven't spoken yet, to think of a really good way of starting. Right, who did you say was next?
Put your hands up if you want to go
Was
next.
it Hania or was it Fizza?
No,
Or
Fizza wants to be last.
Fizza wants to be last. And you've already spoken, haven't you, Oma?
I want, can you speak twice?
Well, we'll give everybody a chance first, and then we'll see what.
Although we're going to run out of time,
Yeah,
Gwyneth, we're going to have to just allow once today.
Yeah. So what about Hania? Are you going to speak?
Yes.
Good.
Hola, bonjour, and hello. My name's Hania, and I'm in year 8. My family comes from a Pakistani background, and I have one older brother and one younger brother. I like to write speeches, but I'm not necessarily good in delivering them. I wrote a speech recently about Islamophobia, and it was an assessed piece. And the feedback my teacher gave me was to be increased in volume, so to speak a bit louder and to have a bit more confidence, and to try and not look at the paper as much and to look up when you're speaking. And I like to draw and read in my spare time, and I play badminton for the leisure centre. And my birthday is tomorrow, and I'm really excited. And yeah, that's it.
Great. And that was 1 minute 15.
Right.
We're nearly having to go back in the main room, so I'm just watching time.
How much time have we got?
Well, we've gone past.
What did we say? Is somebody going to actually open? Rafiq, are you going to open us up when we have to go back, or what happens?
Yeah, this is the main room. The other people come to a break round, so they will be joining this room.
So these are so these names that are appearing, are these people coming in now? Oh, because there's some extra names.
I haven't seen any new names.
Okay.
No, but she did say 11:20, so we need to wrap up in about 3 minutes. So
right, Fizza, can you manage quickly your speech?
we'll have to invite the others to speak next week who haven't spoken.
Yeah.
Fizz, so you're the last one today in this breakout room because we'll run out of time. So we'll have to ask the other 3 next week to speak first.
Okay. What do I say?
Hola.
Hi, my name's Fizza. I'm in year 7 and I like talking in front of people, but I get a lot of nerves. Yeah, I'm not really good at delivering my speeches. And I normally have to write them out first. So I'm doing this course, so I get better at that. And yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Have we got a time for that?
That was 30 seconds.
Right, well, that's very good. Everybody's done. And it's really a good thing not to have time to write your speech out in full, because you think more confidently when you won't believe that at the moment, but you actually do think on your feet, and you can come out with things that they don't always sound the same when you've written them down. Would you agree with that, Gay?
Indeed, because your real personality tends to come out when you're speaking naturally, like you would be if you were talking.
Just to give, to give feedback generally on the group that we had, everybody was clear speaking. Everybody showed motivation and gave a fuller reason why you're here today. Your construction was very good. The speech construction, you started off at the beginning, a middle and an end. You finished off nicely. And what we're going to improve on are things that I've noticed is there's some fidgeting going on, which you do notice more on screen. And sometimes you will learn to use gestures without all that fidgeting and wobbling and looking away.
And fiddling with hair.
Yeah, but you'll grow and improve over the weeks. And all public speaking is about is practice. And the more you practice with us over the next 5 sessions, the better you will start to get, and some of those nerves will disappear. So those who haven't spoken today, we'll invite you to speak next week. Thank you.
And those butterflies will be in formation by then, definitely. And you're muted. You're muted.
Best thing for me, some might say. But we thought our findings were very, very similar to yours, Mary. Strong, clear voices, speak with enthusiasm, wonderful range of interests. We learned something as well. We picked up that some people were talking a little bit too fast. But what I suggested to our group is that for next week, they're ready. And this doesn't mean you've got to spend hours and hours and hours working on it, but you're ready to speak briefly about a significant event in your life, ages ago, recent, something that made a lot of difference to you, who was involved, what it was, how it made you feel, how it affected you. And we're going to think next meeting as well of how to open a speech in a strong way and how to end a speech in a strong way. So you've got all of those things, those delights coming up next week.
Can I just add something to that, Anne? I don't know how your group, whether you chose a salutation or not.
No, we didn't.
Well, we did. The suggestion was made that we speak in various languages to start with, but we actually are. Whose idea was it? It was you, Omar, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
The idea. And we started with hola, bonjour, hello, or the other way around, whichever way around it was. And everybody was happy with that. So I thought that was a very good way of starting.
Yes. All right, the other group, you've heard that. We will have a salutation as well next time, but we will also think about going beyond the salutation and starting in a way that's going to interest your audience. Not that you're not doing that already, but there are a few tricks of the trade. So we'll think about those next time. Mr. Rafiq, sir, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen who've attended, thank you very much. You've done yourselves proud, I think. So thank you. Let us look to grow from this. And unless any of you have any questions or anything now for us. Anyone? I'll take that as a no then. That's fine. We look forward. And I mean, yeah, I was a bit nervous today, you know, but I can say with certainty now, we look forward to seeing you next week. So thank you. I think unless ladies, you've got anything else to add.
I think Ahmed wants to ask something.
Yes, Ahmed.
The first one is, how long are these sessions on Zoom? Are they just like whenever all of the topics that you plan are covered, or is there a specific time?
We're planning 5 Zoom sessions of an hour each, give or take 5 minutes, because if we're in the middle of something, we might overrun slightly, but they won't certainly be longer than an hour and a quarter, absolute max. The idea is we will do 5 of these, and then in September or October, we will start meeting really face to face if the COVID situation permits it. And that will be when, you know, you will have acquired quite a lot of skills, and you'll take those and really make them grow and run with them when we're doing it live. Okay, is that everything from everybody? Right, well, in that case, Mr. Rafiq, sir, can you, if you don't mind, us presenters are going to just sort of meet for about 10 minutes. Would it be easier if you made one of us the host so we can close the meeting afterwards?
Yes.
And then you're not tied either.
Yes,
you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay and give your feedback if you wish.
I'll make you the host, and the rest of the panels, they are already co-hosts. And then the young participants, they can meet now shortly, and then you can carry on with your internal meeting.
Right. So thank you very much, everybody.